Hello and welcome to Earthquake Tip number 4. My name is Shailesh Kumar Agarwal, Executive Director BMTPC, and I'm going to present to you all about earthquakes, its concepts, terminologies, and how to construct buildings and structures to withstand earthquake forces through 32 earthquake tips, which are authored by Professor C.V.R. Murthy, mentored by Professor Sudhir Kumar Jain, and developed by IIT Kanpur in association with Building Materials and Technology Promotion Council, that is BMTPC. Through these tips, our aim is to spread right technical information in simple to comprehend language to our professionals who are in the field designing and constructing structures, especially architects and engineers. But before we start, let's make a pledge that any new structure we design or build must be earthquake resistant. When we talk about earthquakes, the natural question comes to mind whether the area in which I live or my building is located in is earthquake prone or not. This can be explained by seismic zones or earthquake zones. Our country is divided into 4 seismic zones, namely Zone 2, which is least severe, to Zone 5, which is most severe. And this earthquake tip will explain you seismic zones in India. Before proceeding to seismic zones, we need to understand why our country is prone to earthquakes, and for that, we need to understand the basic geography and tectonic features of the country. Remember, in the first tip about earthquake occurrence, I told you that earthquakes come due to plate tectonic theory. Look at this figure, which shows geographical layout of our country and tectonic plate boundaries of India. As you can see from this, India lies in the northwestern end of Indo-Australian plate. This plate is colliding against the Eurasian plate. In fact, this Indo-Australian plate is going under the Eurasian plate, and this gives rise to earthquakes in our country. There are three chief tectonic subregions India can be divided into. Number one, the mighty Himalayas along the north. Two is the uh, uh, plains of Ganges and other rivers that shown here, Indo-Gangetic Plain, Narmada Plain, Mahanadi Plain, and the peninsula. Let's look at this figure, which gives prominent past significant earthquakes which occurred in and around our country. Some of these occurred in the populated and urban cities and has caused great damage, whereas many went unnoticed as they occurred deep under the Earth's surface or in relatively uninhabited places. Now let's look at this table. This particular table shows some of the damaging and recent earthquakes in our country. Most earthquakes occur along the Himalayan plate boundary called interplate earthquakes. But a number of earthquakes have also occurred in the peninsular region or the southern region of our country, and those earthquakes are intraplate earthquakes. As you can see from this table, 4 great earthquakes. Great means the earthquakes having Richter magnitude more than 8 occurred in our country in a span of 53 years. That is from year 1897 to 1950. Each of these earthquakes caused disaster, but allowed us to learn about earthquakes and to advance earthquake engineering in the country. Like 1819 Kutch earthquake produced a 3-meter high uplift of the ground for over 100 kilometers stretch, and it was named as Allah Bund. The 1897 Assam earthquake caused severe damage as far as 500 kilometers away from the epicenter. This type of damage led to improvements in the intensity scales. Extensive liquefaction of the ground was observed over the length of more than 300 kilometers during 1934 Bihar-Nepal earthquake, in which many structures went afloat. It is also seen that the casualties during earthquakes depend on the timing of earthquakes. Casualties are expected to be high for earthquakes that strike during cold winter nights when most of the population is indoor. Now, having studied this basic geography and earthquake history of our country, let's look at the seismic zone zones of our country. The varying geology of different locations in the country implies that likelihood of damaging earthquakes taking place at different locations is different. Therefore, seismic zoning map is required to identify those regions. As you can see from this figure, based on the level of intensity sustained during damaging past earthquakes, 1970 version of zoning map divided our country into 5 zones. That is Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone 4, and Zone 5. If we need to relate them with the modified Mercalli intensity, the maximum modified Mercalli intensity of seismic shaking expected in these zones were in Zone 1, it is 5 or less. In Zone 2, it is 6. Zone 3, it is 7. Zone 4, it is 8. And Zone 5 will have maximum modified Mercalli intensity of 9 or more. Parts of Himalayan boundary in the north, the region which you see in red, and northeastern region and Kutch area in the west were classified in the seismic zone 5. Now let's look at this figure. Seismic zoning map of India are being updated from time to time as we understand geology, seismic tectonics, and seismic activities in the country better. The Indian standard in 1962 provided first seismic zoning map of the country, which was again revised in 1967 and 1970. The latest seismic zoning map was revised again in 2002, and which is shown in this figure. And the entire country is divided now into 4 zones. Zone 1 is merged into Zone 2. So we have Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone 4, and Zone 5. 1970 Zone 1 is merged with Zone 2. And also the seismic zoning map of peninsular India has been modified. Like Chennai, which was earlier in Zone 2, now falls in Zone 3. Now what you see, the blinking is Zone 5. And as you can see, the northeastern region, some part of Himalayan region, and in west, the Bhuj region falls in Zone 5. It is called very high damage risk zone. Now let's move to Zone 4, Zone 3, and what you see, Zone 2 is shown in blue. And this is the map, seismic zoning map of our country based on Indian Standard 1893 2002. This national seismic zoning map of our country presents a large-scale view of seismic zones in the country. Local variations of soil type and geology cannot be represented at this scale, and therefore, whenever we design important structure or when we deal with important projects such as nuclear power plants or dams, seismic hazard is to be done rather than relying on seismic zoning map of India. Also, for the purpose of urban planning and other development measures, seismic microzonation maps are being prepared, which accounts for local variations in geology and soil. BMTPC has also prepared Vulnerability Atlas of India, and if you want to have access up to district level regarding seismic zoning map, you can visit vai.bmtpc.org and get information up to district level regarding seismic zones of our country. So that is all about this tip. You can download this tip from www.bmtpc.org website. The next earthquake tip, which is tip number 5, will be on what are the seismic effects on structure. Till then, thank you very much.